some bad news. Sabby has sustained some burn injuries from getting too close, or should I say wrapped around his ceramic heat lamp. So I do have cages around the lamps, but he managed to squeeze through the tiny gap. So this one has a flap at the bottom so that you can remove the bulb, and then you just like hook it into the wire with the little hooks. So this one was probably hooked back just a little bit loose so that he could squeeze in and get around his heat lamp. So I did find him there, and the heat lamp was cool, like it wasn't really on, but he has managed to sustain some burn injuries from that. I've said in a previous video that snakes have a really slow response rate when it comes to pain or heat. So they could be wrapped around the heat source for a long period of time before they realise that it's too hot. And another fun fact that I learnt from the vet that we saw was that those burns probably won't show up until like a week later. I'd thought he had done it within the last couple of days, but the vet had said that these injuries probably happened a week or more ago. What we have to do for this little guy now is we have to inject him with pain relief every day for the next 5 days, and then every second day after that. So he has a total of 9 syringes. The vet showed me how to do it, so I'm going to give it a go this morning. He should heal up well, he should be fine. He does have dead muscle tissue where his worst burn is down his body. Other than that, the vet was quite happy with his health and thought that he should make a full recovery. His face looks really bad, really bad, but thankfully it's not his worst burn, and it didn't really affect his eyes, it's more of the skin. So what he's done is he's tried to shed, and of course it hasn't really worked very well for him. So we're gonna have to assist him to shed from now on, and he will have permanent scarring. But we're gonna do the best we can to keep this little guy going and make sure that his enclosure is safe. Fingers crossed he makes a full recovery. So yeah. Okay, so that wasn't too bad actually. It was a little bit hard because he is contracting his muscles, because he's like, what are you doing? So his mouth is slightly open. He's been breathing through his mouth as a pain response, like when cats or dogs would pant if they're in a bit of pain. However, his mouth is sort of slightly more closed now, which is good. She did check his nostrils and they are clear, so I was worried that he had burnt his nostrils and maybe there was some scar tissue there. She was really happy with the inside of his mouth, his nostrils, even his eyes, even though they look a little bit like so it was a really good outcome. Even when he was, well, like even when we did discover the burns and he looked like he would have been in the most amount of pain, he was still himself, moving around the same way he always does, and tongue flicking, constantly tongue flicking, which are 2 great signs. So I was really pleased with it. The amazing staff at the Williamstown Vet Clinic, which is Bird and Exotic Animal Clinic, told me to bring him straight in and they'd put him through as an emergency, and they were absolutely amazing, and they absolutely loved him because he was so docile. And as you would have seen in the video, I was able to inject him and he didn't turn around and try and bite me or anything like that, so that's really good. He's clearly well handled, which is awesome. We're absolutely devastated that this has happened, so we're going to make sure that none of our other animals are subject to this. Always have your globes covered with that cage, but make sure it's secure, especially for little snakes, little juvies like this. They can get into absolutely anything. Even big snakes, believe it or not, can get into the smallest crevices, which you would have seen Graham do when he was stuck inside his enclosure on that top lip. Like, how fucking. So yeah, I'll keep you posted on the progress. Thanks.